Hello students, today we are adding and subtracting radicals, and so this is really easy. I have 4 examples to show you, and then that will be all. Okay, so we're going to talk about like radicals. So like radicals are just like terms. So like radicals are radicals that have the same radicand, which that's what's inside the radical sign, and the same index. And that means like if it's a cube root or a square root, so that's like a square root or a cube root, they have to be the same. If they're not the same, you can't do it. Okay, so when we were doing like terms, these were like terms, right? Because they both had x's, and so that would equal 5x. Well, the same is true if we were doing square roots. If I had 2 times the square root of 2 plus 3 times the square root of 2, then that would equal 5 times the square root of 2. Okay, so pretty easy. So I just showed you an example. So I'm going to, but I didn't call it example 1. So now that I have example 1, oh, wait, before I do that, sorry, let me erase that. Okay, let's go over some rules. Okay, first you're going to simplify each radical, and that's going to be in a later example. And then number 2 is you're going to combine like radicals. Okay, so now let's do example 1. And I want you to do example 1 by yourself because I did this one with you, which is very similar to example 1. So you have 4 times square root of 3 plus 2 times the square root of 3. Okay, so pause the video and solve that one on your own. Okay, now that you're back, you should have seen that these were like, they were the same, so we're just going to rewrite that. This is adding, not multiplying, so we're not going to multiply those together. And then we have 4 plus 2, so that's going to be 6, and that should have been your answer. Okay, pretty easy. Okay, let's go on to example 2. Remember, almost all the examples are a little bit different just to get you used to them. Okay, every type that are going to be on your homework. So we have the square root of 5 plus 9 times the square root of 5 plus the square root of 2. So the first thing up here that said was simplify each radical. Well, these are simplified because I can't find, when they're prime numbers under there, then you're simplified. I can't make a tree, a factor tree out of any of those. Now the next one is combine like radicals. So this one is the same as this one. Sorry, had to sneeze. Okay, so and this one is not. So we're not going to add that one up. We're just going to add these 2 up. So when there's not a number in front, that just means a 1, right? Just like when we're doing other numbers. So we have 1 times the square root of 5 plus 9 times the square root of 5. So that's going to be 10 times the square root of 5. And then I still have to add in that plus square root of 2. So that would be my answer to example 2. Okay, let's go on to example 3. And I'm going to show you one where so far we haven't had to simplify any of the radicals, but on this one we are. So the square root of 12 minus the square root of 3. So 3 is a prime number, so I cannot simplify that one. But 12 I can, because this is 4 and 3 and 2 and 2. So remember how we did these last time when we were simplifying. Okay, I'm just bringing down this one so I don't forget about it. So these are, I circled 2 of them, and I'm going to pull those to the outside. And so here's my problem now. So see what I did was I simplified this one into this. And now remember this is a 1 right here. So when I subtract, I'm going to get 1 times the square root of 3, which you can leave that 1 off. You don't have to write the 1 in front. So the answer is just the square root of 3. Okay, I hope that was easy enough for you. And let's do example, let's do example 4. Sorry, I was looking at something. Okay, so we have 2 times the square root of 50 minus 5 times the square root of 8. So we need to simplify both of these because both of these, neither one of these are prime, and I can get factor trees out of them. So this one would be 5 times 10, and then this would be 5 times 2. I'm just going to go through and do this this one all the way through, just to so that I'm not looking at two things at once. Okay, so then I have 2 times 5 times 5. I'm going to take out that 5 and put it with this 2. So that's going to give me 10 times the square root of 2. Now I'm going to do this other one, and when I get 8, I get 2 times 4, then 2 times 2. So I have 5 times the square root of 2 times 2 times 2. I'm going to take out 2 of those and put it with that 5. So I'm going to have 10 times the square root of 2. Okay, so I simplified both of them, and now look at my problem. I have 10 times square root 2 minus 10 times square root 2. So I'm subtracting the same thing, so the answer is going to be 0. Okay, if you write it like this, 0 times square root 2, I'm going to say you didn't simplify it all the way, because when you multiply by 0, you should get 0. Okay, and now the last one, and I think you should be able to do this last one on your own. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to you and have you pause the video. Okay, negative 8 times the square root of 5 plus 9 times the square root of 20 minus 6 times the square root of 5. Okay, so pause the video. I know it has 3 terms, but it's the same thing that we've been doing. Pause the video and solve that problem. Okay, now that you're back, you should have seen that the square root of 5 on both of these cannot be simplified, but 20 can. So I'm going to do 4 times 5 and then 2 times 2. So that's going to give me 9 times 2 times 2 times 5. Right, so I'm only doing the middle one for now. So then I'm going to take that out, and that's going to make it 18 times the square root of 5. And then I'm going to bring down both of these. So I have negative 8 times square root of 5 plus 18 minus 6 times square root of 5. So when I put these first two together, I'm going to get 10 times square root of 5. Then I still have the 6, or minus 6 times square root of 5. So that's going to give me 4 times square root of 5. So you see I'm just doing these first ones. 10 minus 6, that gave me 4. And the square root stayed the same. And there's my answer. And that's all you have for this lesson. So that's it. See you tomorrow.